Well, here we go. A bit of a different approach and a different start to a video because, well, the B5's up and running. Sort of.
Well, there's the old ECU. So
okay, well, that's the old ECUs. That's fantastic. In the last video, we did tell you that we were going to be doing, well, pretty much the front mount intercooler.
Yes.
And the ECU on this one.
Yes.
Have we done the front mount intercooler?
No.
Have we done the ECU though?
Yes.
Yes.
Mostly, yes.
All right. So the ECU is kind of in and done, and yeah, it's running.
Very nicely, actually.
I mean, that's epic, dude.
Well, yes. And managed to keep all the features that I wanted working. So we've got my haircut indicator, still works.
Okay.
That's this one. So,
okay.
So when it touches my hair, then it's time for a haircut.
Then we know. Okay, I didn't even notice that.
So this still works with the old ECU.
Okay, that's nice.
Perfect.
Right, that's cool.
Aircon is working. ABS is working.
Okay.
All the gauges are working. Warning lights are working. So this car, you wouldn't know the difference. It's running like it did on the standard ECU.
Okay, for those that don't know, we did mention what ECU it was that we were going to be running. And what ECU are we running?
MS3X, which is Mega Squirt 3 Extra, which is just a couple of extra features. Gives you things like sequential ignition, sequential fuel, and a couple of nice little features directly on the ECU. Without having to bypass things. I could connect to absolutely everything in this car and communicate with it without a problem. So it was great. So that's where we are.
It's sounding good though. It's sounding so good.
It's fun.
That's foot flat.
That's foot
all
flat.
the way through.
Yeah,
that's brave. That's very brave.
I know I'm running rich.
Okay,
rich.
you're running rich because it's playing safe.
Yes.
Okay, so you're running rich.
Very rich. But roll the that.
What's connected and what isn't connected?
Okay, so as it stands now, everything that was connected is?
Including idle control?
Including idle control, and it's working well. So it took a couple of drives around the block first to get all the engine states right. That took a bit of work. That's running nicely now. We're on a downhill, and that's in fuel cut. So we're not fueling at all at the moment.
Lovely.
Idle control, closed loop idle control on this vehicle, according to every forum that I've read, is impossible to connect to or successfully connect to an aftermarket ECU. Apparently not.
And you've done it?
I've done it. It's running well. It's running in closed loop, and it's perfect. Like I said, I'm driving this car now, and I cannot tell the difference between this ECU and the old one.
And the stock one. And it wasn't. I mean, the startup, it maybe wasn't on that absolute first swing that it took.
Yes.
But it was like 2-3 swings, and then it took. I mean, that's not the end of the world. And this is just sort of home self road tuned.
Yes.
It actually isn't tuned yet.
Not tuned yet, and I've got
massively safe.
Massively safe. I can't see AFRs at the moment, so it's very, very safe.
Because what are you still missing?
Still missing the wideband sensor.
Okay. You're also missing a set of bigger injectors.
Yes, before we can make proper power. And boost control. But we'll get there.
There's so much more in it.
And that's only half a bar.
So nice. So nice. On something that isn't tuned, that isn't even fueling properly.
Yep.
I mean, you've done a bang-up job. I'm going to say this much. You've done a bang-up job of getting a rough plotting going there, but you're going to want to load it up at certain RPMs and really work on those individual load sites, just to tune it in. Like you say, once you've got the AFR in, once you've got the wideband in.
So I needed to spool a bit faster. I'm hoping that I'm just over fueling it to the extent that I'm taking all the heat out of the exhaust gas.
Yeah.
and then it'll spool up faster once I've got the A4 spreader.
And rather just wetting it than picking up any sort of dent, but I'm not hearing any sort of dents or anything of the sort.
No, it's very safe.
And you haven't been driving it like an absolute hooligan and hard like that. That's probably what? Okay. Your face says it all.
Not often. Not often.
I was going to say that's probably like the 4th or 5th time that you've done that. Probably the 4th or 5th time today.
Yeah,
Okay.
On the 4th or 5th time on this road.
On this.
But no, I'm running safe. I mean, I've pulled all the timing out of it. I'm running a very conservative timing map. Running very, very rich. To the extent that you can smell fuel.
Yeah.
The exhaust
But rather
is
that than
pitch
running
black.
lean and just absolutely grenading the entire motor.
Yeah, and then I'm really hoping that when I do lean it out a bit, and there's a bit more heat going through that exhaust, that it'll spool the turbo up a bit faster. I've got almost zero boost at the moment, under 3,500 RPM, which sucks.
It is boosting a little late, so you'll be able to work with the timing and just bring that in a little earlier.
Yeah. There's a lot to give here. So I'm looking forward to getting this thing tuned. Well, tuning it myself as far as I can on the road, and then getting it on a dyno and getting a proper opinion and a proper tune done.
Okay, so absolute next step.
Is finish the intercooler.
Is that going to be the next step, really? Or is that just a sort of like a nice to have down the road somewhere? I think, I personally, for the moment, I'm going to say it's getting that wideband controller in.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Absolute next step.
Absolute next step. Right.
Then getting bigger injectors in.
Yes.
Seeing if the fuel pump is up for handling.
No, we've missed a step. So we're gonna do the AFR gate, AFR meter.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna add boost control. I've got no boost control working at the moment. Too scared to try and boost it without seeing what the AFR is doing.
Yeah.
So once that is in, I can see how far we can stretch these injectors, because I'll be able to monitor what the fuel's doing. And then
from there, and then fuel injectors, fuel system if need be, if you know they can't cope with it, and then I would say, from there intercooler.
Man, and this car's going to be fun.
I mean, it's really putting so well.
Well, and it's not uncomfortable to drive out of boost.
No, and it's sounding great. It's really sounding great out of boost. It's not lurching. The throttle response seems to be just fine. It's not hunting anything of the sorts. So far, pretty good. Now, we know that some of you guys have been wanting to find out how the mapping and everything is being done on this vehicle. And I think we're going to break that off into a dedicated, tech-heavy sort of video. This one's just, hey, this is the update. It's not the podcast. And then Ray is sort of, I don't want to say the expert, but he's the guy more au fait with this sort of stuff. It's dark magic for me. You know what you're talking about there. So Ray's going to bring you guys a video that just dives into wiring it up, getting the maps in there, getting it tuned up, and what signals where, I think, in essence.
100%. We can do
you guys have asked for it, so we want to give it to you.
We can do a very basic breakdown of what features we are using and are not using here. But let's keep the technical stuff, the proper in-depth technical stuff for a dedicated episode.
Dedicated video.
And when there's a bit more to show.
Absolutely. All right, so that's all we got for this video. Thank you very much for watching. It was yet another update. But we'll chat to you soon, and keep an eye open for that tech video. It's going to be interesting.
That will be later.